多謝晒咁多位香港嘅球迷，不論係喺
What was within? You are not at all will you believe what happened behind locked doors at the 33rd SEA Games in Bangkok. And I'm telling you now, this kind of narrative doesn't appear often. If you considered Alexandra was the day's top story. Ella picking up her historic gold medal for the Philippines, bringing an end to a cruel 26-year drought in the most prevalent way perhaps you should reconsider. Due to that on-court performance, as amazing as it was, it has been totally eclipsed by what transpired in the locker room afterward. The actual tale, the one that has caused a stir via the tennis community and has social media completely collapsing, didn't use a trophy, a racket, or even a speech of triumph. It took place far from the cameras that flash, away from the screaming masses at a highly tense time genuine feeling, and completely unanticipated that everyone who saw it claims that the atmosphere thickened to the point of cutting with a knife. Coleman Wong, the very gifted tennis player from Hong Kong, has been connected to Eala for I entered what seemed like eternity. That changing area and took action so audacious, dramatic, and profound personal that the lady, Alexandra Eala, who has just taken control of a whole expectations of the country, which fell down in tears were shed in front of everyone. Prior to delving into the wild specifics of what transpired with that, everyone is a strange black box. Greetings from Champions Tennis, your brand new tennis house narratives that are significant. The drama that occurs when the cameras cease filming, with the shocking information that the major media are either too afraid or too dull to adequately cover. Should you're the kind of person who adores tennis, but also fabrications for the backstories, the connections, and the unvarnished human moments that elevate our sport to more than simply backhands and forehands, then you must sign up for this channel. Now, since we're just beginning to begin. And believe me, you don't want to overlook what's about to happen. Hit that click the subscribe button, enable alerts, and let's get right into this crazy tale together. Now let's paint the appropriately as context is absolutely everything in terms of knowing why this event struck so difficult. December of 2025 finds us in Bangkok, Thailand, where the 33rd Southeast Asian Games are underway. The stadium's vitality has been building during the week. However, on this it has reached fever on that specific day. Pitch. Alexandra Eala, on behalf of the Philippines with all of my pride and her tenacity, has simply had the best performance of her career. In the final for women's singles. She didn't simply triumph, she completely destroyed Kaya's favorite guy in Thailand Sawini with a brutal, clinical performance of tennis that made it clear who Southeast Asia's top player is at this moment. The ultimate result was a terrible June 2nd, 61, and it wasn't even that near. Ella is presently in 53rd place. In the world, acted as if possessed, a person familiar with that past was observing and not blinking under the strain. This gold medal signified everything, not just to her but also to in the whole country that had been anticipating since 1999 to witness the raising of their flag for gold in tennis singles at the SEA Games. Emotions were already running high. I had tears running down her cheeks whilst the award ceremony. The Philippines' the national anthem reverberates across the stadium. And when she eventually succeeded, she was riding back to the locker room. A surge of tiredness, relief, and pure happiness that can only be attained something very enormous. The room was crowded with people. Her coaches and teammates were present. Employees were congratulating her, shooting pictures, and the atmosphere was total pandemonium in the finest sense of the word. This was the style of celebration. The kind of environment in which champagne bottles are opening up and everyone is conversing over one another due to. I was most likely still trying to comprehend everything. Perhaps she should sit down and collect her breath, looking at her phone to see the deluge of messages coming in from all around the world. And then all of a sudden altered in a moment. The entrance to the locker room opened. The sound didn't just slow down. It was interrupted, as if a switch had been flicked. Entering through the door within the look on his face that observers characterized as intense and total, Coleman Wong was the main emphasis. Now, if you have no idea who Coleman Wong is or why his appearance at his changing area at it's really a huge moment. Deal. Allow me to quickly explain since this is when the plot truly becomes interesting. Juicy. Coleman Wong is 21 years old. Hong Kong-born tennis player who has had 2025 was a really revolutionary year, entering the ADP top 100 with ease and become the first Hong Kong-born player to get such position in the professional tennis era. However, there is a far deeper relationship to Alexandria more than just being a fellow Asian tennis players who are becoming more prominent. These two grow up together at the renowned Rafa Nadal, Spain's Mallorca Academy. They received training side by side for many years. They've been partners in mixed doubles. They've helped one another recover from injuries and triumphs and defeats. Additionally, they've been the focus of the most relentless and heated dating rumors in Asian tennis for as long as anybody is able to recall. Supporters have been compulsively monitoring each of their interactions on social media, examining Instagram remarks, analyzing images, and sending them together as a pair for several years under the name Eala Wong. However, here is where things became challenging. And the reasons of Coleman's visit to Bangkok was so full of tension that was not expressed. Only 2 months ago, in October, fans saw something worrisome. Coleman Wong and Alex Eala had unfollowed one another on Instagram. Within the realm of youth athletes and social media, that's not only a lighthearted choice, that's a claim. When you unfollow a person you've openly close for years, particularly someone you've been romantically connected to whether you have verified it or not, people observe and converse. The tennis community went crazy with conjecture. Had they split up? Was there a brawl? Was there a betrayal? Someone's confidence? The hypotheses were infinite, and the reality that neither of they only contributed after they openly addressed it. Fuel for the flames. For 2 months, there was radio silence on the internet between them, and fans were forced to speculate as to whether one of the most adored possible pairings in tennis had burnt after crashing. Thus, when Coleman Wong entered the dressing room in Bangkok just a few hours after Eala and Alex had attained the greatest victory of her career, with each and every individual in that space conscious of the drama on social media that has been unfolding. No one knew what was about to take place. Was he present? As a friend, to congratulate her? Was he or they there to make a scene? Was this going to be uncomfortable, sentimental, or aggressive? What happened next has been described by several individuals who were among the most potent and very emotional times they've ever seen in a sporting event. Coleman didn't grin as he entered. He did not provide a wave at the coaches or give credit to anybody other people in the space. His gaze was fixed on Alexandra as soon as he stepped via that door. And he strolled directly in her direction with the kind of a reason that makes everyone else naturally take a step back and make room. He had something in his hands. It attracted everyone's attention right away since it was so inappropriate. In a hot, packed locker room full with sporting goods and festivities. It was a sophisticated black box wrapped with velvet. The kind of package that exudes elegance and purpose. The kind of box that you don't just carry about carelessly unless what's inside has profound significance and very likely costly. This wasn't a present, a sponsor's bag, or an arbitrary sign of congratulations. This was private, and everyone in the room was aware of it the moment they witnessed it. According to many sources that were there and have since discussed what transpired, the mood in that locker room changed. So striking that it seemed as if the area had been drained of oxygen. The sounds of joy, the conversation, all of the laughing abruptly ceased. A pin drop may have been heard. Moreover, people claim that the quiet lasted for what seemed like 30 seconds, but was most likely around 10, which is an eternity when you're in a space lots of individuals holding their breath. When seeing two individuals gaze at one another with the burden of many months of there was an underlying tension between them. Alexandra, who had just started weeping tears of triumph and patriotism, became motionless. She was searching at Coleman with a look that witnesses were described as perplexed, cautious, maybe even a touch afraid because she was unaware of what was about to happen. Additionally, considering their previous history of unfollowing one another and the seeming distance between them, this may have moved in any direction. Coleman halted just in front of her, sufficiently near because this was unquestionably a personal moment rather than a light-hearted public gesture. He refrained from giving a lengthy explanation, or attempt to entertain the audience or make this about anyone save the two of them. Rather, he only extended that black velvet box in her direction. And he just said 3 phrases. However, those 3 phrases have been repeated and examined and cited in all tennis social media site and forum in existence. And individuals who I swear, I heard that these were his identical. "This is for you, Ella. Open it." He spoke in a calm, composed tone. However, beneath it was something that everyone noticed. A shudder of raw feeling, a weakness that implied in a sense, this moment was important to him. It was far more than just gift of congratulations. He wasn't inquiring as a casual favor, ask her to open the package. According to how many put it, I was almost begging her. He wanted to clarify that was included in whatever was contained inside the box, and he required her to comprehend it. Alexandra paused, revealing the inside her face was showing signs of struggle. Her hands that had just used a tennis racket with perfect strength and accuracy during 2 consecutive sets were clearly trembling as she extended her hand to grasp the package from him. The space remained utterly quiet. There was no movement. There was no loud breathing. Everybody was totally still as I watched this develop, as if they were seeing something that ought to have been kept secret, but was taking place in front of them. In any case, she opened the black box gently as soon as she saw what was inside. Everything was altered in an instantaneous. Alexandra Eala started crying. Not the type of tears that are courteous when a lovely thing touches you, you gesture, and you wipe your eyes with a tissue. They were full-body, heartbreaking, unrestrained sobs that originated deep within her. She placed the box on the bench next to her as if she was at her breaking point, as her hands were trembling as well. Horribly. She then flung her arms. She buried her face in Coleman Wong, in his neck, and clung to it as if it were her life. Relied upon it. Witnesses claimed that the tightness of her knuckles turned them white, was holding on to him, and she wouldn't let go for what seemed like a few minutes. This was hardly a friendly embrace between friends, or even a passionate hug between a pair that are at ease with one another. This was raw, desperate, and filled with months' worth of suppressed feelings that was at last being released all at once. Coleman, the man who had entered the space as if he were on a purpose and ready for any result, just melted the moment she took hold of him. He encircled her with his arms, pulled close to her, placed his chin on top of her head, and shut his eyes as if he was at last able to breathe correctly for the first time in many months. They took a stand, fully enclosed in the middle of a packed locker room filled with coaches, teammates, and employees, and no one spoke a word. No one took out their phone to record it. Even so, this would have gone viral. At this time of year, no one interrupted or cracked a joke to defuse the situation. In fact, many turned away since it felt as if they were invading something really personal, such as they were seeing a situation that ought to have taken place in private, but was taking place in front of all of them. Because emotion may sometimes doesn't wait for the ideal moment or the appropriate location. The crucial question it has caused everyone to lose, plainly what's on their thoughts at the moment, was contained inside that dark cage. Neither Coleman nor Alexandra have mentioned a single openly discuss it. There have been no Twitter updates, no Instagram posts, no interviews in which they have discussed what took place in the locker room. Moreover, the tennis world is being driven by that silence. Utterly crazy when it comes to conjecture. The theories are circulating at a rapid pace. To be honest, some of them are crazy. Enough that they might be true, since the whole circumstance is already so striking that include an engagement ring to the mixture wouldn't even be that unexpected at this stage. The most popular idea, the one with the romantic segment of the tennis community utterly yelling and making complex PowerPoint presentations to demonstrate their argument, is that the black box including a ring for engagement. Take a moment to think about it. The dimensions of the box is a wonderful fit for a ring box. Alexandra's degree of feeling, how she broke down entirely the second she opened it, indicating that this wasn't simply a lovely piece of jewelry or a considerate moment. This was something that symbolized a dedication, a future, a promise that struck her square in the heart at a time when she was already emotionally exposed as a result of winning the largest match of her professional life. The manner after that, Coleman held her, that he surrounded himself in a protective manner. The fact that he shut his eyes on her as if he was relishing the occasion, all of it suggests something profound, passionate and transformative. Currently, the counterargument in this case is that they're youthful. Alexandra is only 20 years old. Coleman just turned 21. Is that also too young to be married? Particularly when they are both at pivotal moments in their careers as professional tennis players and very likely touring the globe for 10 months of the year. For this reason, the October unfollowing was very significant. Agreement and the reason Coleman appears in with that black box, Bangkok, seems like the conclusion of a tale that has been constructing for many months. Whatever took place between them in October, whatever led to the social media public distancing, obviously, that wasn't the end of their narrative. If anything, it was only a chapter, perhaps an essential one, where they needed to make some decisions. Apart before reuniting. The scene in the changing room seems like the culmination of a drama spanning many seasons. The moment at which all of the stress and, at last, ambiguity ends and is resolved. Becomes something definite and indisputable. Coleman Wong was making a statement here. Not to the whole public, but to Alexandra, informing her in the most dramatic and romantic manner that is feasible, regardless of occurs in their personal or professional life. She is important to him in a manner that surpasses all other things. Moreover, Alexandra's response, sobbing and clinging to him as if she was scared he may vanish if she released her grip, was her taking the remark at face value and creating one of her own. Right now, the quiet from both of them on social media goes on. However, it feels distinct from everyone seeing. It's not October's chilly, far-off stillness when they stopped following each other, and their supporters were really concerned that something had irreversibly shattered between them. This is a cozy quiet, a private quiet, the type of quiet that implies that they are isolated. Currently, and the outer world may hold on. The Champions tennis squad includes making every effort to connect with must ascertain what was really inside that enigmatic black box because everyone is dying with suspense. However, as of right now, the mystery remains tightly locked. Was it a diamond? Engagement ring, which indicates that we're going to see the tennis nuptials of the 10 years. Was it a significant piece of jewelry or a memento that represents their common path and his dedication to her? Was it anything entirely different? Surprising that we haven't even taken into consideration? We are excavating. We're inquiring queries. We are contacting everyone. Who is there in the changing room? Additionally, once we get confirmation of what was inside, you will be the first to be aware that we won't allow this tell the narrative till we get the answers. However, while we're awaiting such responses, let's pause to honor what we do know for sure. Ella Alexandra is the winner of the SEA Games, and she received that gold medal by skill, resolute, and utterly merciless execution when it was most important. She's restored the Philippines' glory after a 26-year wait. Additionally, that regardless, success stands alone. Of a potential romantic drama, everything surrounding it. Additionally, Coleman Wong, if he entered the changing room wearing a ring, or a pledge, an apology, or all of the above, created a moment that will be discussed throughout tennis circles for many years to come on. He received something that may be much more precious than a prize. He was earned the moment, and he performed it in front of witnesses who claim they will never forget the passion and intensity of seeing those two individuals return to one another. Thus, this is what I would want. I'm aware that everyone viewing this video at this moment. What do you suppose was in that black box? Are you wearing a team engagement ring? Persuaded that Coleman put all on the line and suggested in the locker room. After the greatest victory of her life? Are your team's gift of apology? Believing that this was his method of compensating for whatever went wrong incorrect between them in October and persuading her to grant them another chance. Or do you have an entirely distinct notion that we haven't even covered? Share your opinions I'd want to hear your thoughts in the comments section. All theories and viewpoints know of how crazy, passionate, or pessimistic perhaps it is. Additionally, while you're down there, please do me a tremendous favor in the comments section. Please click the like button if you liked delving deeply into the drama, as it aids the algorithm in displaying this video to further tennis enthusiasts who are, I'm sure, you're yearning for this narrative right now. Above all, sign up for Champions Tennis, since we are your new place for stories about tennis that genuinely matters. The narratives with actual emotion, actual risks, and real people creatures in the middle of them rather than just match ranking and statistics. Updates. We're just beginning to this channel, and believe me when I say you that there is a lot more to come. Something you won't want to miss. Activate those alerts so you're promptly informed as soon as we posted the sequel to this tale when we discover what was in there at last. Black Box. I'll see you at the next video. Until then, continue to speculate, continue shipping and adoring this stunning, dramatic, and emotionally terrible sport that none of us can achieve enough of it.